What would you do if your child suddenly walked up a wall, backward? Chapter 1. The New Beginning. In November 2011, a woman named Latoya Ammons moved into a small rental house in a quiet neighborhood of Gary, Indiana. She wasn't alone. With her were her mother, Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children, aged 7, 9, and 12. At first, everything seemed normal. The house looked ordinary, a simple white building with a small yard and a wooden porch. It was the kind of house where families dreamed of starting a new life. But within days of moving in, strange things began to happen. And what started as small, unexplained events soon turned into one of the most terrifying paranormal cases ever documented in the United States. Chapter 2. The First Sign. One cold night in December, Latoya's mother, Rosa, noticed something unusual. It was around 2 a.m. Everyone was asleep. Suddenly, Rosa heard footsteps coming from the basement. Slow, heavy, deliberate. She assumed it was one of the children, but when she went to check, the basement door was locked. The footsteps continued. Then came another sound, a low, deep growl. Rosa froze. She pressed her ear against the door. The growl grew louder, as if something on the other side knew she was listening. Terrified, she ran back to her room and locked the door. The next morning, she told Latoya. Latoya tried to stay calm. "It's probably just rats," she said. But deep down, she felt uneasy, because that night she heard the same thing. Chapter 3. The Black Flies. A few weeks later, something even stranger happened. It was the middle of winter. Snow covered the ground. The temperature was below freezing. Yet, suddenly, the house was filled with black flies. Hundreds of them. They gathered near the front window, buzzing loudly. Latoya grabbed a newspaper and started killing them, but no matter how many she killed, more kept appearing. Even the landlord was confused. "There's no reason for flies in winter," he said, but he had no explanation. Chapter 4. The Children Change. Soon, the children began to behave differently. The youngest boy started talking to someone no one else could see. He would sit in the corner of the room and whisper. Sometimes he laughed. Sometimes he cried. One day, Latoya asked him, "Who are you talking to?" The boy looked at her and said, "The man in the corner." Latoya turned. There was no one there. Chapter 5. The Walking Incident. Then came the moment that would shock everyone. One afternoon, the family visited a hospital in Gary. Doctors and nurses were present. So were social workers and police officers. Suddenly, Latoya's 9-year-old son began acting strangely. His eyes rolled back, his body became stiff, and then, in front of multiple witnesses, he walked up the wall. Yes, he walked up the wall, backward, upside down, as if gravity didn't exist. The room fell silent. No one could explain what they had just seen. Chapter 6. The Investigation. Soon, the case attracted attention from authorities. Police officers visited the house. They documented strange events, doors slamming on their own, footsteps with no source, unexplained voices, objects moving by themselves. One officer even reported seeing a shadowy figure walking across the hallway. Another said his radio stopped working whenever he entered the house. The fear was real, and it was spreading. Chapter 7. The Priest Arrives. Desperate for help, Latoya contacted a Catholic priest. His name was Father Michael Maginot. He visited the house and immediately sensed something was wrong. After conducting several interviews and investigations, he made a shocking statement. This house is possessed. He believed the family was under attack by a demonic presence. To stop it, he recommended an exorcism. The exorcism took place in secret. The priest prayed for hours. He used holy water. He read passages from the Bible. At first, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, Latoya began to scream. Her voice changed. It became deep and unnatural. She spoke words no one understood. Her body shook violently. The room grew cold. Lights flickered. And then, silence. The presence was gone, at least for a while. Chapter 9. The Escape. After months of terror, the family finally left the house. They moved to a new location. Slowly, the strange events stopped. No more footsteps, no more voices, no more shadows. But the memory of the house remained, and the story spread across America. Many people believed it was one of the most frightening real-life hauntings ever recorded. Others remained skeptical, but one thing was certain. Something happened in that house. Something no one could fully explain. Ending line, perfect for video. Some houses hold memories, but others hold something far darker.